Students, this side Preet Kamal. I'm a lecturer at Mehchan Polytechnic College, Jalandhar. Today, I will be discussing with you all the subject of PLC, that is Programmable Logic Controller. But before starting with the subject details, as always, I would share the important information related to Mission Fateh, that is the campaign run by the government of Punjab, and it says that we should take some precautions so that we could come out of this COVID-19 situation. And the precautions are: wash your hands regularly, use sanitizer, use mask, and also maintain the social distancing rules so that we could come out of this situation as soon as possible. So let's move on to the study details for the today. The today's topic is related to the chapter number 3. So we have now moved on to chapter number 3, and it is the chapter instruction set. So in this chapter, basically we will start learning about the different instructions that are being used for the programming of PLC. So before starting with the programs, as you all know that before starting with the program, we should know about the basic instructions, because a program is made up of set of instructions that are connected in a sequential manner. But as I have already told you, and you have seen it already, that in this PLC we do not have to memorize any kind of mnemonics or any kind of specific some codes or some variables or something like that. We do not have to remember anything. We should only use the graphical methods of programming, and in that particular type of programming, what will happen is the PLC, we will be having the input modules, the output modules, the devices connected at the input side, at the output side, and according to that we should make the connections, right? And those connections, as like in relays we do, right? So as we all know about the relay contacts, how they are connected, how they will have to work, just the logic should be clear. The logic should be clear behind the program, that what do you want. In a graphical way it should happen, that what do you want in this particular situation, right? So according to that we will do our ladder diagram today. So the first topic that I will be discussing with you in case of this instruction set is the ladder diagram. So what do you mean by ladder diagram is, here I will show you how the ladder diagram is made, how you have to start doing your programming, right? So it will be something like this. This is not a diagram you need to remember. This is the programming language. So in this way you have to make it in your PLC programmer, right? In your, as like you do in your C programming language, in the C software, similarly it will be done in your PLC software. And you do not have to write anything, you just have to draw, you just have to pick and place these things according to your logic, according to yourself, according to the need of the program that you want to make. So just listen to it very carefully, as it is very important. If you will be able to understand this, then there will be it will become very easy for you all to do the programming of the PLC, right? So first of all, these two lines at the ends, these two vertical lines named as L1 and L2, they are basically called as rails. Rails means they basically represents AC or DC supply voltage, and this line shows the phase and this line shows the ground connection, right? Phase and ground, two things are there when we talk about the AC signals, and when we talk about the DC signals, there are positive and negative signals. So this is the positive line, this one is the negative line, right? Or the ground line. So these are basically the power supply lines called as rails. They are used in your PLC programming language, right? Then after, when we talk about these horizontal lines, So these horizontal lines are basically called as rungs. This you have to remember in connection with your examination, but in the programming you don't have to remember these things, right? So these are called rungs. So this is rung 1 and rung 2, right? So rung 1, rung 2, rung 3, and how many numbers of horizontal lines will be there? This means the number of lines, the number of instructions that you will be using, right? Sometimes the program is of 4 lines, 5 lines, 10 lines, 12 lines. So here it is not called as lines, it is called as rungs, right? We are using rungs. So these are the horizontal lines, and whenever the execution happens from left to right and then from top to bottom. So as like we do the simple programming in any of the programming language, C or KLC or assembly or anything, what we do is we move from this place to this place, we read the instructions from left to right, and then we read it from top to bottom. So in the same way the execution will be done in this case also. This is the same way that here it will be using. Okay, so let's move on to the first rung. Say this is input 1. This is the connection, okay, of input 1. This is basically acting as a switch or acting as an input. Whenever we need to use any input, then we will use this symbol. This is a symbol that displays or that demonstrates the input. Okay, so this is the input represented by IN002, or here the input, it is represented by IN005. Now what do you mean by IN002 or 005? It is basically this represents the input, CR here represents the output, and these numbers, these basically represents the terminal number. As we have already studied in the racks and chassis that whenever the PLC is to be programmed, then there are some racks and there is a chassis in which racks are there, in which rack number, terminal number, all these things we have already studied, right? So according to that, this number or this name, whatever is given, is basically represents the input, is represented by this, or we can use this way also, that I colon 2/0. 2/0 is a terminal number, right? Then I colon 5/4. So in both the ways we could use the input, the name of the input, basically to represent at which terminal number that input is actually connected, right? I will share an example with you. There you will be more clear if there is any doubt in this particular point right now. Okay, let's move on to the output side. Whenever we need to move at the output side, then it is represented with these two blocks. Okay, and here it could be written set or reset depending upon whether the output is energized or de-energized, whether it is working or non-working. According to that there could be written, right? But initially, as it is the symbol for the input, this is the symbol for the output. Okay, and the output is represented by using the word CR, and similarly followed by the terminal number, here followed by the terminal number Y3, whatever you can use. Or this is the another method, that is O colon 7/3 or O colon 1/6, whatever the terminal number is, what depending upon the racks or what kind of racks you are using. As I have told you that in the chassis we are having, say, input modules, then output modules, then in the input modules we are having some boxes like that. In those boxes it is placed in some way, right? So similarly these could be used as the terminal numbers. Okay, so this was about the ladder diagram, that how it is being utilized. Every time the left side, at the leftmost side the inputs will be used, and at the rightmost sides the outputs will be displayed, right? This is the way how you will draw this diagram in your PLC software, and these inputs and outputs, the number of these inputs and outputs, how it is represented basically depends upon the structure or the PLC you are using, that whether you are using Siemens PLC or whether you are using Allen Bradley PLC. It depends upon that what kind of PLC you are using. So these numbers will be used as a symbolic representation, or you can say the names of the inputs and outputs. So it could be used like this also and like this also. So both will be correct. In any way you could use, but depends which of the company, which PLC you are using actually. So it depends upon that only. Okay, so let's discuss about how this ladder diagram is being executed practically, and how the connections will be done, how this input status table, output status table will be updated depending upon this, right? So let's move on, and let's learn about the example. Let's learn with the example, so you will become more clear that how this is executed exactly in your PLC programming language software. Okay, let's move on to have a look at the example. So this is the example of ladder program execution. So here I will tell you that how the ladder program that you have made gets executed when you draw it in your PLC software. Okay, so here, as I have already told you, L1 and L2, two rails that we have made, for one for phase and another one for the ground. Okay, then this is rung 1, rung 2. Here what we have used is this is say IN004, some one input on terminal number 4 that is connected. So if you will see the ladder diagram and if you will see the connection diagram together, then you will then it will become more easy for you to grasp it, right? To understand it, it will become more easy. So let's see, say this is the connection diagram. Okay, so first we will have a look at this connection diagram, that what do we want actually. Here we are having PLC, we are having input module, we are having output module. In the input module we are having a common terminal and 8 number of inputs. At the output terminal also we are having a common terminal and 8 number of outputs. Okay, what do we want? We want a connection at terminal number 4, where one switch is connected named S1. So it is a push button switch. Whenever we will push the switch, it will get on. Whenever we will release, it will get off. Okay, and similarly at position number 7 we are having a switch, then this is connected to, both the switches are connected to the common terminal, and at the output side we are having say 2 motors, for example. Okay, it could be anything, it could be a lamp, it could be any output or LED or anything. Okay, assume that it is a motor. Okay, so M1 and M2 are 2 motors that are connected at the output terminals 3 and output terminal 5, and then after the they are connected with the common terminal. Okay, so this is the connection diagram, that how your output and input devices are connected with the PLC. So if you are having the connection diagram, you can draw this ladder diagram accordingly, or if you are having this ladder diagram, you could draw this connection diagram accordingly, or depending upon the logic that what do you want to do with this. Okay, that what do you want, that when this motor 1 should work or when this motor 2 should work. So there should be a logic. Depending upon that we should draw this ladder diagram. So let's see now how the ladder diagram is working. Okay, so here we are having 2 rungs, rung 1 and rung 2. Here this is input 004. Why input 004? At the input side the terminal number is 4, at which the first switch is connected at terminal number 4, and its output is connected with say M1, so that is CR003. So I hope it's clear to you, right? So the switch 1, at the input side it is connected to terminal number 4, so that is why we have written here IN004, and at the output side is connection is at output number 3, terminal number 3, so we have written here CR003 as per the label that we were using for the inputs and the output side. Then after here, what we are using is connection number at pin number 7 or at terminal number 7, we are having another switch S2 and we are using this as an input IN007. But along with that, what we are doing here is we are using an AND logic. Means whenever the supply from here, it will be connected, it will go through this CR003, that is the output of this rung 1, and that is to be connected as an input along with this input. That means we want that if the switch is on and the motor 1 is on, only then the motor 2 should start, or it should on, or it should energize, otherwise it should not work. So this is our logic. We want to do it this way. So that is why what we have done is we have used this output as an input. So the name will be same, but the connection, the symbol, it will be different, because at the input side you cannot use the output symbol, because this symbol is used only for the output, for to display the output. So that is why whenever we need to use any output at the input side, then the name should be same. If you are using the same thing, then the name should be the same, but the connection symbol, it should be like the input. Okay, so here what we have done is we have used it in an AND logic. Why I am saying that it is an AND logic? Because if both of these will be true, only then the output will go to this output side. Only then the true output will go to this side and it will energize this. If any one of these two will be false, false means if any one of these two will not be having energized, will not be having high input, then there will be no signal, right? Because here they are connected in a single line. So I will tell you this, I will explain in the another lecture, then when we will discuss about the AND or NAND NOR logics, right? Then I will explain more about this if you are having any doubts. But I think it should be clear to you that we are having two inputs in a single line and the output is connected at the end. So if both of these signals will be high, only then that connection, it is basically the signal that is flowing from this phase angle positive to the negative or the ground. So this circuit will get completed only when these two inputs will get a high signal. So for example, so I hope this is all clear to you. This is the CR005 at terminal number 5. This motor is connected. So let's understand how it is working. So at the first rung, at the first step of the execution, what will happen is, say for example here we have closed this switch S1. For example, we have closed this switch S1. Then this is true, and because this is true, so this positive signal at this L1 will move from this connection and will energize this output. Okay, and then after rung 1, when it is completed from left to right, then we will come from top to bottom, and then this supply is given to IN007. So for example, here we have not pressed the S2 switch yet. We have not pressed it, right? The CR003 is energized. It is true, but it has not been pressed, so it is false. So we know that when we do the AND logic, AND means the multiplication. So in the multiplication, 0 1 is 0, 1 0 is 0, 0 0 is 0, and only when both of these will be true, only then the output will become 1 or will become high or get energized, right? So it is false and it is true, so this will be not energized. So what will happen at the connection side? this input signal, these input devices are being connected to this input module in the PLC. According to these input devices, the input module, the input image status table will get updated, and then during the program it will get updated again and again and again. And then after, at the output side, what we will have is, we will get the motor 1 or the lamp 1 or whatever we have connected at this output. This will be energized and this will not be energized, and this will be closed till we will use here the end. It will repeat again and again. This process will be repeated again and again till we have not mentioned here end of the program. Okay. And one more thing here to remember, that we have connected this CR003 here, but physically this has not been connected to the input device. It has just implemented logically to make a logic according to this circuit, or according to the work that we need to do. Okay, according to the output that we want to have, right? So according to that, we will be having this connection diagram or this ladder diagram. Okay, so I hope this is all clear to you. So till now we have discussed about the basic ladder diagram, that how it will work and how it will execute through a practical example. So I hope this is all clear to you. And we will be taking your doubts in the live session. Please do like and comment on my video so that I could get to know that how many of you have seen it properly and accurately, appropriately. Okay, so we'll meet in the next lecture. Thank you so much.